I'm Charlie.
Felix and Josh have been invited by LIFT, the London International Festival of Theatre, and Ideas Tap to create an audio piece at the Victoria and Albert Museum.
So we took some of the text and went out into the museum to record that and play with it, and we ended up recording it with visual as well. So then we were looking at how that altered what we were listening to, how kind of the atmosphere changed. We brought them back, showed them, suggested ways of improving things, went back out to look at the idea of kind of movement or stillness and what difference that made on the text. We recorded some things where people were perhaps situated, so playing with the idea that there might be characters, or how the space is interpreted when you're moving through and listening to something, what you notice and whether there are kind of plants in the audience and how you might do that.
We kind of stumbled upon different techniques that the iPads, specifically the iPads, sort of create this kind of domestic digital video environment, an accidental aesthetic sometimes. Sometimes it felt like it worked better if the video looked like it was accidentally recording the performers recite text within the V&A, rather than staging too much of it. At one point I felt like the iPads were an extension of the performance rather than, they kind of integrate into live action rather than the iPads being a traditional camera filming the action. So it was really interesting the way this technology integrates with the live performance and becomes a document of that. And then as we reviewed it, we began discussing how we could use these techniques further and developing them.
Cersei sent Down to the Dark. So nice of you to visit again after all these years. We've a fantastic collection, as I'm sure you're aware. Oh, and you've got to offer the water, huh? Ulysses, seems so quiet. Your hands are shaking. Your lips aren't as full. Here. Let me take you down. You might have forgotten, it's been so long. Understandable, really. Missed you, though. My husband, too. We wanted to show you these songs for so long now. Long since Athens, Rome, and London, after New York and Beijing. But you've come now to the collection of Proserpina, to the women dead. Mortal now.
I know, Josh. I know.
Okay, great. And we're recording.
Do you want to ask a question?
So, tell me, Felix, how do you think today went?
I think today was really successful. We managed to do loads of things. We ventured around the museum with the iPads. We looked at the bits of written material which Tom had created for us over the weekend and explored those. And it seemed like the actors got a real sense of the possibilities in those, and also looked at them from slightly different perspectives.
What are you looking forward to doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow we're going to use Tom's writing. We've kind of cut it up and pasted it together in a bit more of a simple way. And we're going to assemble for the first time our complete audio track and put it into our location and see whether it flows together simply and effectively.
And he found me there, splayed on the sheets, with nothing on and legs akimbo. My breasts were out to kiss the air. But if you'd been in that room, you'd see not a single thing, not an inch of flesh. Complete darkness was all that was laid out in front of me. A black silken sheet draped on every curve and sweep of me, light over my sockets, heavy in how it sat on my chest. The way that darkness spreads down on my body, resting snugly on the tips of fingers and toes. It was not until his fingers made themselves known that I jolted back to life. And you can imagine it was a shock that whispered over and over as I was led to the edge of the cliff, as I stood there naked, with only seagulls cracking up at the sight of a woman waiting for the wind to take her away. They told me then that it would be a monster who would have me. With no light in that room, it was the monster that I imagined. Great, big, heaving beast, mouth open, fangs wet at the sight of me there. A sight which even I couldn't see in the darkness of the bedroom. I heard the springs through the mattress, the squeeze and release of them as he moved closer to me, laying with the pillow against my head. I had planned to kick out whatever monster may be like. I was sure they'd all come down quick enough with the knee in the right location. My muscle tensed in the dark. Without anything to see there, it seemed they tensed even harder, coiled up in shaking rows, ready to spring out at whatever body part came close enough. But it had a hand on each ankle now. And had not yet kicked. He's kissed me there. And I had not yet